The Montecito twilight draped the Sussexes' mansion in a velvet hush, but within its walls, a storm was breaking. Meghan Markle stood frozen, clutching Archie's crayon drawing, a castle, its turrets crowned in green, labeled Grandad's house. "He's only 6, she whispered to Harry, her voice trembling with dread. "He can't dream of Britain yet." Harry's gaze, shadowed with unspoken burdens, met hers in silence. The narrator, with a journalist's gravitas, intones, "This is no child's whimsy, it's the crown's long shadow creeping into their sanctuary." Was Meghan's fear a mother's instinct, or a sign of a deeper rift? Whispers from afar suggest a secret that could unravel their carefully built world. What truth lies hidden in a 6-year-old's drawing, and who's pulling the strings behind it? The camera glides over Montecito's golden hills, settling on the Sussexes' mansion, its white walls glowing under dusk's embrace. Inside, Meghan stands in the living room, Archie's drawing trembling in her hands. The castle, scrawled with a 6-year-old's fervor, is no mere sketch, it's a portal to a world she fled 5 years ago. The narrator, weaving story with insight, declares, "For Meghan, this isn't art. It's a warning, a crack in the sanctuary she's built for her family." Her fear, as royal expert Tom Quinn revealed in The Mirror, is that Archie's budding fascination with Britain, stoked by tales of his grandfather's castles, could lure him into a fantasy she dreads. Meghan's mind churns, painting a future where Archie, older, chases gilded dreams of Buckingham Palace, forsaking the California haven she's crafted. The camera flashes to her memories, tabloid headlines screaming her name, palace aides whispering betrayal behind closed doors. She left that world to shield her family, but now it reaches for her son through crayon and paper. The narrator muses, can a mother outrun a legacy etched in her child's blood? Archie bounds into the room, his dark curls bouncing, eyes alight with wonder. "Mommy, when can we see Grandad's castle?" he asks, his voice a dagger to Meghan's heart. She forces a smile, her knuckles whitening around the drawing. The narrator draws from Quinn, Archie's books about kings and princesses, perhaps gifts from King Charles III, are fanning a dangerous curiosity. Meghan has urged Harry to ensure Charles sends simple toys, cars not castles, to avoid sparking royal dreams. But whispers from elite circles, for the second text, paint a broader tension. Meghan's ambitions, podcasts, streaming deals, global influence, are outpacing their partnership, casting Harry as a fading figure in her spotlight. Harry enters, his shoulders slumped, as if carrying the weight of a crown he no longer wears. "We'll figure it out," he says, but his voice lacks conviction, his eyes avoiding hers. The narrator peers into his heart. Harry loves Meghan, loves Archie, but the ghosts of his royal past, Charles William Duty, haunt him still. A faded photo on the mantel catches the light, Harry and Charles at a polo match, their smiles frozen in a time before rifts. The Mirror reported Harry's claim of no contact with his father since May 2025, a silence that cuts deeper than he admits. A dramatized rumor surfaces. Perchuang, a Montecito neighbor, claims Meghan found a royal storybook in Archie's room, its pages glowing with tales of crowns and thrones. She never approved it. The camera zooms on the book, half hidden on a shelf, its spine embossed with a golden crest. Did Charles defy her wishes, or is someone else sowing these seeds? The narrator reflects, in Montecito's glow, trust is a fragile thing, and secrets have a way of surfacing. The pace quickens as Meghan tucks the drawing into a drawer, her resolve hardening like steel. She's determined to keep Archie rooted in California's sunlit hills, far from the intrigues of palaces and crowns. But the narrator questions, can she control a child's dreams, or is the crown's pull inevitable? Harry steps outside, phone in hand, his face etched with conflict. A notification pings, a message from an unknown number, bearing a single word, palace. The camera lingers on his tightened jaw, a prince caught between worlds, his silence a riddle yet to be solved.
5 years ago, Harry and Meghan turned their backs on Buckingham Palace, chasing a dream of freedom across an ocean. But dreams, like castles, can crumble under the weight of the past. As Meghan battles Archie's growing fascination with Britain, Harry's silence grows heavier, a wall between them. The narrator, with a journalist's lens, whispers, to grasp their fear, we must rewind to the moment love clashed with duty. What drove them to flee the monarchy's gilded cage? And why does a single book in Archie's room now threaten their fragile peace? A hidden letter, a king's quiet ambition, and a prince's fading grin hold the answers. Can a family escape the shadow of a crown that still claims them? The camera fades to 2020, London's rain-slicked streets reflecting the turmoil of Frogmore Cottage. Harry and Meghan, faces taut, pack their lives into suitcases, their breaths visible in the cold air. The narrator, blending story with analysis, sets the stage. This was the year the Sussexes shocked the world, trading royal robes for California's promise. Imagined footage captures Harry's defiance. He slams a fist on a desk, telling aides, "My family's safety is non-negotiable." Security cuts had turned Britain into a battlefield, and Montecito offered escape. But the narrator muses, escape is never complete when blood ties bind. Cut to Montecito, July 2025. The Sussex's mansion gleams, a sanctuary of glass and light. Meghan walks through its halls, Archie's laughter echoing from the garden where he plays. The narrator introduces her. Meghan, 43, is no longer just a duchess. She's a mother, a visionary, building an empire of influence. Yet her fear, for the mirror, is palpable. Archie's questions about Grandad's castle are unraveling her control. The camera lingers on a christening photo, Charles cradling baby Archie in 2019, a moment of unity now lost to time. A flashback unfolds, Windsor Castle, 2019. Bells ring for Archie's birth, but behind the pomp, Meghan felt trapped. The narrator paints her isolation, paparazzi hounded her, protocols choked her. In a dramatized whisper, she tells Harry, "This isn't the life for our son." Their decision to leave took root then, a pact forged in love but shadowed by fear. The narrator reflects, they sought freedom, but freedom demands sacrifice, sometimes more than they foresaw. Back in the present, the narrator introduces Charles, a king and grandfather separated by an ocean and a rift. At 76, Charles longs for his grandchildren, the voice intones, but his gestures carry the weight of a crown. Quinn's report resurfaces, Charles has sent gifts to Archie, defying Meghan's pleas for simplicity. A dramatized scene shows Charles sealing a package, a storybook of princes and castles, his eyes soft but resolute. He must know his heritage, he says to an aide. The narrator questions, is this love, or a king's command to reclaim his heir? Harry's complexity emerges. The second text's whispers paint him as fading, a prince outshone by Meghan's rise. The narrator delves into his soul. He gave up titles, family, home for her, but now he wonders if he's lost himself. A friend, dramatized, claims Harry once vowed to Charles he'd teach Archie his roots. Now, torn between Meghan's fears and his father's legacy, he falters. The camera catches him flipping through Archie's books in the nursery, pausing at a page about a king, his brow furrowed with doubt. A manwa surfaces, a letter, tucked inside the storybook, addressed to Archie in Charles's elegant script. Meghan hasn't seen it, yet. The camera zooms on the book, its golden edge glinting on the shelf. The narrator, with a journalist's caution, warns, one letter could shift the balance, but who placed it there? The second text's rumors deepen the drama. Meghan's elite meetings, Hollywood moguls, perhaps political allies, suggest she's planning beyond Harry. The narrator reflects, her star ascends, but will it leave Harry in darkness? The scene closes with Meghan tucking Archie into bed, reading a story about whales, not kings. Her smile is strained, her eyes scanning the room for threats. Harry lingers at the door, his phone heavy in his pocket. The narrator muses, in Montecito's glow, a family fights to stay whole, but the past is a relentless hunter. A single letter shattered Montecito's fragile calm. Meghan's hands shook as she held Charles's words to Archie, a royal crest branding her fear. He's crossed a line, she hissed, her voice a blade of fury slicing through the air. But Harry's silence, heavy as stone, hid a deeper secret. The narrator, with a journalist's edge, declares, this is no mere family spat, it's a war for a young prince's soul, with battle lines drawn across an ocean. As leaks spill from palace shadows, two sides clash, Meghan's fierce protection against Charles's ancestral claim. Whispers of Meghan's own ambitions, rising beyond Harry, add fuel to the fire. What truth could drive a wedge between love and legacy, and who will pay the price? The Montecito study glows dimly, a lone lamp casting Meghan's shadow as she tears open Charles's letter. My dear Archie, one day you'll walk these halls, it reads, each word a dagger to her heart. The narrator, blending story with commentary, intones, to Meghan, this isn't a grandfather's note, it's an invasion, defying her fight to keep Archie from royal fantasies. The Mirror's report echoes, she's begged for simple gifts, but Charles's storybooks and letters stoke Archie's dreams of Britain's castles. The camera shifts to a dramatized Buckingham Palace, Charles penning the letter under flickering candlelight. He's my blood, he tells an aide, his voice firm yet tender. The narrator probes, is Charles a grandfather yearning for connection, or a king staking a claim on his heir? The conflict splits into two camps, Meghan's protective defiance versus Charles's ancestral pull. The second text's rumors deepen the stakes. Meghan's meetings with Hollywood moguls, perhaps eyeing a political run, suggest she's crafting a future beyond Harry, a queen building her own throne. Meghan storms to the study, confronting Harry. "Did you know about this?" she demands, thrusting the letter forward. Harry's eyes flicker with guilt, his lips sealed like a vault. The narrator unveils a twist, dramatized. Per Chuang, one of palace leak claims Charles sent Archie multiple letters, describing life as a king. Harry found one months ago, hidden in a birthday gift, but kept it secret to spare Meghan's wrath. The camera lingers on his clenched fist, a prince trapped between loyalties, his wife's fear and his father's legacy. The pace surges. A tabloid rumor, fictionalized, reveals Charles invited Archie to a secret UK summer camp, a royal experience for young heirs. Harry received the invite weeks ago but hid it. The narrator questions, is he swaying toward his father, or protecting Meghan in his own fractured way? Meghan's voice cracks with fury, "You let him plant these dreams in our son." Harry retorts, his voice raw, "He's my father, Meg. Archie's not just yours." The camera catches Archie, unnoticed, standing in the hallway, clutching his castle book, his eyes wide with confusion, a child caught in a storm he doesn't understand. Social media erupts, dramatized from ex-posts. #Megxit fans defend Meghan's fight to free Archie from royal pressure, posting, "She's saving her son from a toxic system." #Royal fans counter, accusing her of erasing his birthright. Archie deserves his heritage. The narrator stokes the divide, Meghan's vision soars, but is it tearing Harry apart? Imagined headlines flash across the screen, Meghan's war on the crown, versus Charles fights for his heir. The second text's whispers resurface, Meghan's ambitions, film projects, global influence, cast Harry as a fading figure, his sacrifices for love overshadowed by her rising star. The climax peaks with a second twist, a palace source, fictionalized, claims Charles sent Harry a private note, urging a London visit for Archie. "It's time he knows his place," it read. Harry hasn't told Meghan, his silence a widening chasm. The narrator muses, in Montecito's glow, trust phrase, and a king's ambition threatens to ignite a global storm. The camera zooms on Meghan's trembling hands, the letter crumpling in her grip, her eyes blazing with betrayal. Montecito's storm has passed, but its echoes linger like a distant thunder. Meghan and Harry stand on fragile ground, their trust bruised by Charles's secret letters and hidden truths. Archie's dreams of castles haunt their California haven, a reminder of a legacy they can't escape. The narrator, with a journalist's poise, declares, "The world watches, divided, some cheer Meghan's fight to shield her son, others mourn his lost roots." As the Sussexes mend their fleeting peace, a new rumor threatens to reignite the fire. Is Charles plotting a secret move to reach Archie? Or is Meghan's next step the boldest yet, one that could leave Harry behind? What force will shape a young prince's future, love, legacy, or ambition? Morning light floods Montecito's kitchen, where Meghan pours coffee, her eyes weary but resolute. She's hidden Charles's letter and cleared Archie's shelf of royal books, replacing them with tales of stars and seas. The narrator observes, Meghan fights to reclaim her son's dreams, but the crown's pull is relentless, a shadow that refuses to fade. Archie, eating cereal, hums a tune about knights, oblivious to the rift tearing at his parents. The camera lingers on his innocent smile, a child caught in a chess game of legacies. Harry joins them, his grin forced, a mask over the scar of their confrontation. The narrator delves into his soul. He gave up everything, titles, family, home, for love, but now he wonders if love is slipping through his fingers. A flashback shows him burning Charles's second note in the garden, its ashes scattering like his fading ties to the monarchy. But the camera catches a fragment, unburned, bearing the word Archie. The narrator muses, even in ashes, the past endures, whispering of battles yet to come. The resolution unfolds, fragile as glass. Meghan and Harry agree to shield Archie from royal influences. They donate his castle books to a local library, their hands brushing in a moment of unity. The narrator paints a tender scene, Meghan reading to Archie about comets, his eyes bright with wonder, free, for now, from dreams of crowns. But the piece feels brittle, a pause in a larger storm. The second text's rumors loom large. Meghan's elite meetings, Hollywood moguls, perhaps political allies, hint at a future beyond Harry. The narrator reflects, her empire rises, a beacon of independence, but will it leave her prince in darkness? Social media buzzes, dramatized from #Team Meghan praises her for guarding Archie from royal pressure, posting, she's saving her son from a toxic system. #Royal fans counter, accusing her of erasing his birthright, Archie deserves his heritage. The narrator stokes the divide, is Meghan a visionary mother, protecting her child, or a strategist rewriting her story at Harry's expense? Imagined headlines flash, Meghan's war on the crown, versus Charles fights for his heir. The divide fuels debate, as the book's Chia fee strategy intends, drawing thousands of comments and shares. In London, Charles learns of the drama through aides. The camera shows him in Buckingham Palace, gazing at a photo of Archie, his face etched with longing. He's my grandson, he murmurs, voice heavy with a king's resolve. A new rumor, fictionalized, per Chuang 1, surfaces. Charles is arranging a private video call with Archie, bypassing Harry and Meghan entirely. The narrator warns, a king's love can be as dangerous as his power, and Charles is no ordinary grandfather. The second text's whispers resurface, Meghan's ambitions, film projects, global influence, perhaps a political run, cast Harry as a fading figure, his sacrifices for love overshadowed by her rising star. Back in Montecito, Meghan and Harry take Archie to the beach, laughing as he chases waves under the California sun. The narrator captures their fleeting joy. For a moment, they're just a family, not a headline in a royal saga. But a paparazzi shot leaks, dramatized, showing Harry meeting a mysterious figure at a cafe, perhaps a palace envoy. The narrator questions, is Harry reaching for his past, or being pulled into a royal trap? The final twist lands, Archie's teacher calls Meghan, mentioning a new drawing, a knight crowned with a golden circlet, labeled me. The narrator, with a journalist's chill, intones, Meghan thought she'd buried the fantasy, but Archie's dreams grow bolder, defying her control. The camera zooms on the drawing, its edges curling like a royal scroll, a silent challenge to her resolve.